Right, Natty Catty bands here. I've had a lot of questions about making bands, so this is how I do it. Now, I've gotten a set for myself personally. This is Precise Cyan 0.5, and the way I always start off is my draw length is 73 centimeters. Cyan is lovely at a 15 centimeter active band length. So first thing I do is I line up my latex nice and square on the cutting mat, and then I draw a 2 centimeter line down the edge. And leave it 15 centimeters. Draw a 2 centimeter line again, or draw a line this time. Making a meal out of this. And then the last line 2 centimeters on again, and you'll see why this is. And another question I get asked is, what is this line about here? So there. So you got your line there, and then cut down that line there. Now I always find latex cuts better with these rotary knives pulling back. I don't know why, I always find pulling them back always cuts better and lasts longer. So there you have your slab. Now you have multiple ways of doing this next bit. You have the ruler method, which is you on these lines here, so if you wanted to 1320 like I'm shooting today, you could do 13 mil. And 20 millimeters. You could then put your ruler down and cut it. Another method is using one of these tapered rulers. You'll see these quite a lot on the internet. There is a very fine line somewhere here. Let me get it in the right place. Do you see it about there somewhere? That goes on the edge of your latex. And once again, you then follow this line and cut it. Turn the latex over on the same line again and cut it. Another method is, and I was talking about these last night, was a template, and this is a speed template. I don't think they're any faster, but this one here is a 2012, so here is 12 millimeters. It goes to 12 millimeters all the way to there, and then it tapers out to your 20 millimeters, and then all the way down to here is 20 millimeters. So even if you're cutting off 3 centimeters here, you still get your 20-12 taper. The last one is a bit different. It's just a different design really of the straight ruler one, and you can use whichever one you like. What I personally like to do is, I'll do this way, actually probably makes a bit more sense. First one, I like to cut an angle. So if I'm doing 20-12, half of that is 4 mil. So I try and leave a 4 millimeter difference here to this end. And that means then you've already got one side tapered. So 10 to there. So from that then to that corner. Get your rotary knife. Cut that down now. You then This is a 2 centimetre line here, and then there is my 17 centimetre line, so that means that's 15 centimetres. Then I'd then cut the first band, pull it off, turn the latex over. This way you're keeping your taper the same instead of fanning it around like that. So on there, pull back and got your 2 bands. So next thing you do is attach to your pouch. I thought I had one out, but I haven't. Pouch is personal choice, and just pulling out the orange bits, thread them through the hole. You can either pull it through by hand, or if you've got one of these, you put that through the hole of the pouch first of all, and then you simply pull that through like that. Make sure your bands are the same way, so the V is the same way. And on that line. Get your band jig, it doesn't matter what it looks like, they all do the same job. When you're folding your bands over, make sure everything is the same. So tidier now, the better results you're going to get. Next is amber belt. I've got 2 bits of black belt here cut. There's one, there's the other. And it's up to you how you do this. Personally, if it's my own bands and I've never had any problems with it, I give it a stretch. I lay it over the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then just 2 normal knots on the top. That's what I do for my own personal bands. As I say, I've never had no problems with that at all. Customers, you always get it done the posher way, which you fold it over half. Once, twice. Now this is not tight, not loose, it's gripping itself there, alright. And this is called the wrap and tuck method. You then get a nice piece of string in a loop, place it on the top, once, twice, 3 times, and then pull this through the loop of the string and pull it through. I pull it now just so it's just poking out there, and then cut off the excess, and that is your band made up. Cut the ears off, not too long, not too short. If they're too short, sometimes it can twist. So there you are, that's then cut. That is your pouch tied on. And then this here then, if you're shooting a clipped frame, you'd cut it 5mm past that line. 5-6mm past that line. If you're using wrap and tuck, it then gives you 2 centimetres then to attach to your frame.